Welcome to the Akashic Library.
Have you ever felt like you're stuck in a loop? Like you're running through the same painful scenario over and over again? It's this super frustrating, kind of mysterious feeling that, honestly, most of us know way too well. Today, we're going to get to the bottom of the fascinating and, frankly, weird reason why this happens. So let's just ask the big question right out of the gate. Why? Why do we keep making the same mistakes? And look, we know it's not just bad luck. And it's definitely not because we secretly enjoy the pain. The real answer is something much, much deeper, and it's happening inside our own minds. I mean, do any of these hit a little too close to home? You find yourself in another relationship with someone who just can't seem to love you right. Or maybe it's that same old breakdown of trust at work, that familiar panic that creeps in, or that nagging feeling that everybody's against you. These aren't just random unlucky events, they're patterns. So if you feel like you're stuck in one of these painful loops, I really want you to hear this. It is not a coincidence. You're not crazy. In fact, psychotherapists have been studying this for years, and they've even given it a name. It's called repetition compulsion. And what is that? Well, it's basically this unconscious pull, almost like a magnet that steers us right back toward the very negative situations and feelings we're trying so hard to escape. It's a wild idea, but in a very real way, we're kind of the architects of our own recurring problems. And just listen to that phrase, with hidden intent. I mean, isn't that a mind bender? It's bad enough to keep ending up in the same difficult spot. But to think that a part of us is actually driving us there on purpose, that's a whole other level. And this gets to the heart of the mystery. We're always told our minds are wired to seek pleasure and run away from pain. So then what's this all about? Our unconscious mind seems totally determined to repeat frustration, sabotage, and alarm. So what on earth is going on? So what is this secret mission our mind is on? Why would any part of us actively go looking for pain? Well, the answer is actually, and this is the surprising part, pretty hopeful. Your mind isn't trying to hurt you, it's trying to heal you. Here's the key rule we have to get our heads around. An emotional issue will stay active, sometimes for decades, until it's been fully processed and understood. See, old wounds don't just fade away if we ignore them. Nope, they stick around, just waiting for us to finally pay attention. So this is the mind's kind of clumsy healing process. It starts with an old pain that never got resolved. That pain just stays there, emotionally active. Then, your unconscious mind pushes you back into situations that feel just like that original problem. Not to make you suffer, but in a desperate attempt to get you to finally get it, to understand it so you can be free. I absolutely love this metaphor. These repetitive cycles, they're like ghosts that just keep showing up, and they are not going to leave you alone until the original foundational injustice, that core wound that started the whole thing, is finally dragged out into the light and really looked at. So where do we find this foundational injustice? Well, more often than not, the trail leads us way back. We have to trace these patterns back to our childhood to find that original difficulty. And there's a really good reason for this. I mean, think about it. Childhood is when we are the most vulnerable, right? We are completely at the mercy of the adults around us, and we have the least ability to understand or process all the complicated and sometimes painful things that might be going on. So just take a look at your current pattern for a second. Does it kind of sound like an echo of something from way back when? If you're always panicking that you'll be humiliated, or you keep chasing love from people who are just emotionally unavailable, ask yourself, could this be following the tracks of a much, much earlier pain? Okay, I know this all might sound a little heavy, but here comes the really empowering part. There is a path to freedom. We can absolutely learn how to break the cycle, and it all starts by doing something that feels a little backwards. That powerful impulse to repeat, it's not something you need to fight against. Think of it as an invitation. It's your mind's way of asking you to do one incredibly brave thing, to finally stop, turn around, and mourn the original wound. And mourning here doesn't just mean feeling sad. It means facing some really hard truths without looking away. And let's be real, this is not easy work. It's about letting yourself fully absorb the reality that, say, your mother couldn't handle your vulnerability, or that you grew up without a real ability to trust, and that has made a mess of things as an adult. It's about giving that old pain the time and the attention it has always, always deserved. So what's the big payoff for doing all this difficult emotional work? The reward is, well, it's everything. Your mind can finally let go.
Once you really start this process, once you truly keep that appointment with your past, the compulsion to keep repeating it just starts to fade away.
That restless part of you, that ghost that keeps showing up, its job is done once the truth is out in the open. It can finally stand down, and that gives you the freedom to plow new, less frightened, and way more fulfilling tracks in your life. And really, this is such a hopeful message. By understanding and mourning your past, you make sure that it doesn't have to become your future. So I'm going to leave you with this question to think about. As you go about your week, just notice the patterns in your life. What foundational injustice, what old and untold story might your mind be gently, or maybe not so gently, asking you to finally uncover?
Sometimes it's not the person you miss, it's who you were with them. In the next video, we'll explore why healing can sometimes feel like pain.